July 18th, 2023. We're going to be talking about rounding up for charity. It promotes philanthropy and your business. So we're going to be able to make use of that change that normally gets spent, or rather given back to the customer, and then they take it and they put it in a jar or put it in a 5-gallon jug somewhere, and then it kind of gets forgotten about. So we're going to be able to make use of that. And this was a feature that was added so that we could give you an easy way to manage that. We are going to move on here. So what are you going to learn about today? So you're going to learn about the goals and the purpose of that program and that feature, the checkout experience, so what that's going to look like from you or the cashier's end, the pop-up window example, setup and how to activate it, how add pre-existing charities. We're going to learn how to add new charities. We're going to learn how to activate more than one charity, and a receipt with a thank you note, how to produce that after the transaction, and any more follow-on links. That way you can learn a little bit more about it. So as far as goals and purpose, roundup for charity. Well, what's the goal? Well, it encourages giving. As I mentioned before, cash is obviously a dwindling resource, or dwindling use in kind of our modern society. Mostly everybody's using credit cards and things like that. Even more so, change, coins. That money normally just, like I said, goes into the ashtray in your car, or you put it in a 5-gallon jug at your house, and maybe sometime in 3 years you're going to take that and try to get actual cash from the bank or whatever. So it allows you to make use of that towards a good cause. Gives back to the community. Like I said, you can do a local charity, you can do a national charity, whatever charity you see fit. You can make a local charity, so to speak, if you have a local member of the community that's having a little bit of trouble and needs to kind of get a little bit of extra. People can donate to that specific thing that you create. So it helps those in need, and it shows concern for charitable causes, right? It's nice to be able to give back when you have those means available. And customer participation is quick and easy. Like I said, I don't know about you guys, but for the most part, change, no matter what amount of change, I will always leave it in some kind of change dish or whatever the store that I'm at has right there at the front, the kind of take a penny, leave a penny thing. Because like I said, I'm just going to lose it. It's gonna be doing nothing. It's not going to be doing nothing for nobody, as I like to say. So at least if you give it to somebody, use it towards a charity, they can make use of it and do something good with it. So Paladin's Roundup for Charity feature lets stores participate in local fundraising events with little effort. That's the key there, little effort. When you are doing something like this, you don't want it to be a kind of burden, or something that's kind of difficult. You got to send out mailers and get 10 receipts and document it. You don't have to do any of that. It's just a simple setup in Paladin. It becomes part of the checkout process, and it's a very smooth kind of thing moving forward. When this feature is set, a window appears during checkout, and it gives customers the option to round up their purchase to the next dollar amount and donate the difference to charity. And I have been mentioning cash specifically. However, you can use this for credit card transactions as well. So that's a good thing. It's not just totally centered on using cash. You can use it during credit card transactions. So smooth checkout. Giving is voluntary. Customer doesn't have to participate in this if they don't want to. They can easily say no. Cashier is prompted to ask customers, but is not required to do so. So again, your cashiers, if they're not comfortable with asking to do this even, or certain cashiers, They don't have to. So you can have some cashiers that do it, some cashiers that don't. Nobody's required or obligated to do so. They can just skip that during the checkout if they don't want to bother with it. And then, as I mentioned, giving is voluntary, so customers can choose whether or not to participate. And they can add more charity options. We're going to cover that here in a minute. And the receipt includes a thank you note. Seems like a small thing, but letting the customer know, hey, we appreciate what it is that you're doing. Obviously, you didn't have to do that, so we really want to thank you for that. The Roundup for Charity window pops up during the checkout process. You have multiple options there, or can have multiple options. So as you see there in the slide, you can actually have multiple charities active at one time. I think during testing I had up to 5 displayed on the screen there. So that is really nice. If you don't want to donate to the Children's Action Network, you can donate to the local fire department or the American Red Cross or the local high school or whatever. You can have multiple charity drives going on at the same time, which again is a nice thing for the community. Folks can choose where they want to donate that money. Automatically rounds up to the, it's an easy selection. Like I said, you can see right there, it pops up. You pick, which charity you want to donate to, and then you hit donate, and then automatically rounds up the amount. So as we see there, it's $24.27 for that transaction, but it's going to round it up 73 cents to that next dollar amount. And it's easy to use or skip, like I mentioned before. If you have some cashiers that don't want to ask that question, they don't want to deal with that, or they're really busy, they don't want to, might be a situation where they do like asking for the roundup for charity, but when you got 10 people in line, you don't want to be dealing with that. So anyway, you can just skip out of that and keep it rolling if you would like. So the Roundup for Charity window. If the customer agrees to donate, select their preferred charity and then hit F8 to donate. That's going to add the donation to the invoice and the receipt. And again, they can take that at the end of the year and use it as tax write-offs or whatever if they want to do that. So they have tracking of it and you have tracking of it. If the customer does not want to donate, all you got to do is hit skip or press enter. And that, because it defaults on to skip. So if you just hit enter, it'll basically be hitting the skip button and we'll move on. And then when the Roundup for Charity window closes, the checkout process continues just like normal. So to set it up and activate it, really quite simple. In Paladin, you're going to go to File and Setup. And depending on your access level, you might not have access to setup. So, you might need to contact a manager at your store, or again, you can always default to us. We're here for you. We can help you set that up. Most of the people that are kind of setting this up should have access to that. And so anyway, hit File, click Setup. Then there's going to be a separate tab, your network tab, your credit card tab, all those tabs up there. There's one that says Charity. Pretty simple to find that. Once you click that, you're going to enable the Roundup for Charity. And that's what that looks like there, right there next to that yellow arrow on the left. And then you are going to save it. And that's it. Now it is active. That's the setup part, or rather the activation part. That's not necessarily the setup, just the activation. So now it's active. And once it's active, this is what it's going to look like for you. There are 2 charities that we have pre-saved in here. They're kind of national charities, so you can choose to donate to that. The American National Red Cross and the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. Those are 2 nationally recognized charities. Like I said, we have them preset in there in case you would like to donate to them, but it is very easy to add your own. So to add a predefined charity, all you need to do is in that pane there that looks like this, select new. Kind of weird that you're hitting new because they're existing, but anyway, that's what you hit. In the charity list, select a predefined charity. So you hit new over here on the left, you hit this drop down over here on the right, and then you will have one of these options, the National Red Cross or the Children's Miracle Network, and then you hit save. And that's it. Now that is on the active list of charities that you can round up for. And to those predefined ones that we have built in there, you cannot make a name or logo change to those. Those are set in there, but if you have a different one that you want to upload, you're able to do that. Again, we'll talk about that here in a second. So to add new charities, it's just the same as the last one. You hit new in the bottom left-hand corner. In the charity box, enter the charity's name. So you hit new over here. This box is going to be blank. You're just going to type in a name. In this case, in the example that we have here, the Smithville Fire Department. You can even upload a logo so that when you are in the checkout process, it's easy to identify which charity you are selecting, if of course you have multiple. Now, it doesn't take a whole lot of work to do that. The only thing that you need to do is grab a photograph or digital image of that image, of that logo. The formats here are PNG, BMP, GIF, or TIFF. And we can, again, help you with that if you have any trouble with that. The Smithville Fire Department probably has a website. You can just go grab it from there and then edit it down to the size that you need to, which is 450 by 10 megapixels, and the maximum size being 1 megabyte. Again, easy bit of formatting. We can help you get that taken care of. You cannot upload a JPEG. But again, when you're using any kind of image editing software, basically, which your computer has some built in, or you can download one, but either way, not difficult. But it gives you options there to save a file type. And again, so when you go save as, it gives you a bunch of different file types, and you would just choose anything, well, any of the 4 up here, not JPEG. So PNG, BMP, GIF, or TIFF. If you do not want to upload a logo, the default image will just be a heart. So that's completely fine as well. But like I said, adding that extra logo just adds a little bit of touch, a little bit of extra added bonus there for you. Then you're going to hit save and close this window. So activating charities. During the checkout process, in the Roundup for Charity window, you can offer customers a choice of up to 4 charities. Like I said, during testing, I was able to add up to 5. There may have been an update there, but just so you know. To set the number of charity options that will appear in Paladin from the main menu, select File and Setup. Then we're going to select the Charity tab. And in the Charity Options pane, in the Number of Active Charities list, select a number between 1 and 4. Drop that down there, hit Save, and then hit Close. There we go. A charity will appear in the Roundup for Charity window at checkout when it is an active charity position in that charity's list. And then the number of active charities value determines the number of active charity positions that you have available. These positions are always at the top of the charity's list. You can change a charity's position by using the up and down arrows. We'll have an example of that here in a second. And if the number of active charities is 2, then the top 2 charities in the list will always be active. So this is what we're talking about here. So in that pane here, you can see that we have the charities listed here, and then we have up and down arrows. So you can actually highlight this one, Smithville, if you want them to be lower down on the list. Or if you want Smithville Chamber of Commerce to be higher on the list, you would click on it to highlight it and then hit that up arrow however many times you needed to move that up into a higher position. Activating features continued here. In the roundup for charity window, whatever position you have that in that's how it's going to appear in that window during the checkout process. So like I said, if you wanted Smithville Fire Department to be 3rd or 4th for whatever reason, or depending on how many you had active, then you could do that. But if you wanted them at the top, or you don't really care what order they're in, you can just leave them exactly the way they are. And then how to use now the roundup for charity. So normal process for checking out, you're in the invoice and quote module, you ring up a bunch of items. And when you hit F8 to check out, this box pops up. This doesn't conflict with any of your rewards programs or anything like that. You put your rewards programs in ahead of time or right before. This pops up, and then this will pop up depending on how you have your settings at your location. You're going to ask the customer if they would like to round up. So, you know, hey, would you like to round up 73 cents to, and we have a couple of different charities available. Or if you only have one, then again, you would say, would you like to round up to the Smithville Fire Department? And that's going to be dependent on what you have set up at your location. If the customer says yes, you can select the charity, or again, if there's only one, it's just going to default to it. Then you're just going to hit donate, and then it's going to throw that right onto the receipt. Right onto the transaction. If the customer wants to donate a different amount, you can actually do that as well. So they can either just choose to do the roundup, where it takes the cents difference to get to that next dollar amount, and it will add that automatically. Or if they are feeling generous that day, hey, I want to donate $2 and 73 cents, or you know, whatever, $2 even, whatever they want to do, you can do that. You can do that, input that right there in the donation amount window, and then hit donate, and it will add that in there. And of course, if the customer does not want to donate, or the cashier doesn't want to ask that question, you know, again, doesn't have to be that the cashier isn't comfortable asking that question. Sometimes you know, these people are coming into the store multiple times a week, you know them, you know they are not interested in donating, or you know they've already been in the store 3 times this week and they donated twice, maybe you don't want to ask them again. Just hit skip. It's gonna skip that. You don't have to do the roundup. And then when a donation is made after the roundup for charity window closes, a note appears in the checkout tab. It's going to say, thank you for donating 73 cents, or you know, whatever the total is, to whatever the charity is, in this case, Smithville Fire Department. And then in the invoice and quote tab, the donation appears as a charity invoice item. So if you go back over here to this tab, invoice and quote, it'll actually show as a line item that will say, hey, they donated 75 cents or 73 cents or whatever it was. And when the purchase is complete, that donation will show up on the receipt. So like I said, you know, a lot of times when you do these donations, I know, for instance, at my local grocery stores, which is a Safeway, you know, it's a chain, sometimes those things do not show up on the receipt, so you don't really even know that it happened. But again, if you wanted to make a big donation, a couple $100 or whatever, if you were feeling so inclined, you could then have that receipt, and then you could use that at the end of the year for taxes, or you know, whatever. Same if you make a bunch of small donations, doesn't make it insignificant, but if you want to use that at the end of the year to write off onto your taxes, you have tracking of that. Customer has tracking of that. So that's a good thing as well. So charitable contributions on the comparative revenue report. So you want to know how much you have collected for these charities, because you need to take this money and deliver it to them. So you're going to run a comparative revenue report to figure that out. When you itemize revenue by department, each charity is automatically assigned a unique department number. So again, you don't have to set that up ahead of time. It just does it for you once you activate this feature. And then to view revenue by department, you're going to generate this report. You're going to go to, in Paladin on the top ribbon, we're going to choose the reports module. In the report area pane, once we select sales analysis and revenue, we're going to select today's comparative revenue report. Many of you are familiar with running this report already, but once we hit next and we get to the next set of options, we're going to, in the additional settings pane, select department from that detail by list. So again, we're going to detail by departments. That's going to break it out and generate that those two charities or one charity or however many you have set up onto its own separate line item on that report. And then that once you hit run report by hitting F12 or just clicking the run report button, a PDF of the report is going to open up showing the total itemized by their department number. So we can see here that we collected $360.36 for the Red Cross there, the American National Red Cross, and we collected $144.36 for the fire department. So we took that, we take that money, we take it out of our till or whatever, and we can donate that to those charities, send it via check or however you want to take it to them. Obviously, if it's a national chain, you're going to be mailing a check in or transferring the money electronically. But if it's a local fire department or business or a local family, like I said, if you had a community member that had some medical bills or just had something go on, you can essentially just create a charity for them to have people donate to. And so just a little note here, for ACE hardware stores, predefined charities will have an ACE hardware part number and will not use the default charity number scheme. And that's that's what we mean. What we mean by that is in the department number there when you generate that comparative revenue report. So just a little side note for ACE stores that are using this. And that about covers it. I know it was a relatively quick webinar here today, but again, this is a feature that people are using and it's going towards a lot of good charities, both local and national. It's very easy to set up. It's very easy to use during the checkout process, and really it just kind of helps promote charitable contributions that you might not have. I do it pretty much all the time because why not? Why not round up? It's just a couple extra cents, but really all that adds up day over day over day, multiple transactions throughout the day, and we really are benefiting those charities and giving back. So if anybody has any questions, they can put it in the chat here. If nobody does have any questions, then we can, this webinar will be available online, or if you have any follow-on questions, you can call in. You can ask to speak to me. I am here and a telephone representative, or you can speak to any one of our agents on the floor. They should be able to give you